Hi everybody, Renegade Investor here again with another interview from Coinfest UK 2019. I'm lucky to be joined by Josh Riddett, CEO of EasyCryptoHunter. Thanks for joining me today.
You're welcome, my friend. Good to be here.
And yeah, I've seen you a lot around this conference and you did a really good talk the other day on your business. So perhaps you can tell everyone listening right now, like, what do you do, who are you, what do you do, and what is EasyCryptoHunter?
Yeah, so I'm the CEO of EasyCryptoHunter. We're one of the UK's largest GPU hardware providers. And what we love to do really is just help the average person, average business investors, average people that want to enter the crypto space, get their hands on some of the best hardware with the best advice, the best service, and help break this big myth around mining and how not profitable it is in certain conditions in certain countries. A lot of people have these perceptions that it's no longer profitable to mine, which yes, might be true for Bitcoin or Ethereum under specific conditions in different countries. But as it stands today, we're in the middle of April 2019, there has never been a day where it's not been profitable at top-end GPU mining on UK electric rates to mine in the UK. So we like to help just explain this to people, let people know there's great money to be made, and get people really excited about the crypto space.
I really think we need to emphasize that, because I got into the space in 2013, which is when that narrative started that people individually could not mine crypto, and it was more going towards a point of sort of big mining farms.
Big commercial stuff and times, yeah.
And so for years, I've had this perception that, individuals really can be profitable mining. But after seeing your presentation the other day, I was quite taken back about how much people had made as well, because you did some of the percentages of people made.
The numbers are really exciting. So for our business this year, we've had, as a domestic customer, that just bought a single bit of equipment. Obviously at scale, the prices change and lots of different variables, but as a single cost of equipment, our business, our individual domestic customers this year made 59% return on investment. Our business customers, where you're able to get some tax back and VAT and things of that nature, was up to 91%. Mining in the UK from April 2018 to April 19, which is nuts. Like, that's crazy, crazy ROI. Now, in part, a lot of that was due to us, mining Ravencoin, which was our official call for all our clients this year, which has done exceptionally well. But, the reality of it is under the right conditions, mining the right coins, doing, the right software management and things, you're able to achieve, very good numbers. And if we can produce those numbers in what was, quite frankly, an awful market last year, it's quite exciting moving forward, because it's not just about crypto mining, it's about AI deep compute and commercial integration, and the equipment that we sell can do all sorts of awesome stuff moving forward. So the education around mining is really what we're passionate about, because there's so many coins out there and so many blockchain projects that are so much bigger than just Bitcoin and Ethereum, and that's really where the exciting things are right now.
Yeah, because that's what a lot of people don't realize about the money space, is it's not always the most high profile coins which are the most profitable. It's actually some of the new ones, depending on a lot of different attributes. So perhaps you could talk about how did you go about that process, about what you decide to mine, because obviously that's like one of the most important decisions you make in terms of return on investment.
So for example, the Ravencoin has kind of been a great key to this. So everyone's going now, oh well, Josh, all your clients have made loads of money and you've done well out of Ravencoin, but you could have been wrong. Well, yeah, of course we could have been wrong. This is crypto, none of us are oracle workers predicting the future. We'd all be millionaires. Yeah, we don't pretend. We're very clear. This is what we made last year. We make no guarantee of any returns last year. This is crypto. It's a different world. We all accept those risks, but fundamentally, the difference is the way that we run our business and the clients that we have. We generally bring on, higher net worth individuals or investors that are business-minded, business-savvy, take 2 or 3 year, 5+ plays with things, and understand traditional investment. So we speak in their language. So in terms of kind of crypto and blockchain, there's a lot of rubbish in the space. We had the ICO disaster of the year before. And effectively, to pick a good project, you can never be sure what's going to happen, but there are a couple of really easy to determine factors. So, if you treated mining a coin the same way you would if you were going to invest in a stock or a share, why would you invest in Facebook, Amazon, or Google? Well, because it's got a great team and it's got a great project and it's got a real use case and it's got, all these different things that you can kind of attribute. And people fail to apply that same logic to the crypto space sometimes. So Ravencoin was a totally open source project. There was no pre-mine, there was no ICO. It's a totally decentralized team. It solved a real business use case as an asset transfer protocol. It created a new algorithm, X16R, that was ASIC resistant. So it ticked so many of the community boxes for the GPU environment. And as a consequence of that, it's done extremely well. So yes, it couldn't have worked, but out of all the coins around at that time, it was, under investigation, certainly one of the front runners.
So another question for you, because one of the things that put me off mining, being someone who isn't the most technical person, I'm more of a macro overview, more into the economic side, even though I did grow up in tech. But if someone comes to you, they want to join Easy Crypto Hunter, how easy is it for them to contact you and get set up for mining? Do you need to have this big technical background?
Yeah. This is the big question we've got. So the business is called Easy Crypto Hunter because we make it easy. That's kind of what we do. So all our clients, the difference is we're not some online company where buy your equipment, cross your fingers and pray it's going to turn up in one piece. We have real offices based here in Manchester. You can come and meet me, come and meet the team. We have a full team based in the UK. We build everything here ourselves. We have full consultations with our clients. You can come and see where we build the stuff. You can come and pick it up in person yourself. We take you through all the accounts, set everything up, show you how it all works. And ultimately, we now have softwares in place where you can literally take home a machine, plug in the plug sockets, plug in your internet connection, turn it on, you're automatically mining. Literally that easy to set up. We have pensioners, and this is an interesting thing. So the majority of my clients, age demographic, most of them are over 55.
Wow.
Our youngest customer, I think, is 35.
Yeah.
So it's not designed for techies or for, I own the company. I don't know how to program one damn line. Not a clue. So it's not about
you and
this.
me alike.
Yeah, we wanted to make it because it was such a confusing space. That's why I wanted to create the company. Come and, don't trust some online facade. Come and meet us. Come and see us in person. Come and ask those questions. We're very transparent about what we do, and we can show the historical numbers and equally explain the risks. We don't pretend to be the golden goose. We just want to lay things out in a straightforward business case, and if people feel they want to go that way, we want to make sure they get the best equipment possible.
Perhaps you could talk a bit as well about the energy usage, because obviously it must be quite daunting plugging one in for the first time, especially as there's so many reports in the media about how power hungry mining is. So, someone plugging it in might be fearful that, their electric bill is going to skyrocket or they're not going to make the return on investment in order to cover the electric cost.
Yeah.
Perhaps you could talk about that.
So really two interesting points there. So one, that again is overhyped, and it's a caveat and an overthrow from Bitcoin mining, which, is very energy intensive moving forward. GPUs, they're a little bit different. One of the things that we do when we get our graphics cards, obviously we order them in large volumes, but typically, say, a normal graphics card out the box that's running in a normal computer could be consuming up to, say, 250 watts a card. Again, because we're the experts in this field now, we do something called undervolting and overclocking. So we can reduce the electrical input of the cards massively, so each card runs at about 160 watts instead of 250, whilst getting extra horsepower out of the cards as well. So an entire full card,
efficient way of doing it then.
So in a full card setup, we're running at maybe 1100 watts. So a typical hairdryer is 2000. Now, yes, they are on 24 hours a day, and yes, it will cost you probably somewhere around £70 a month in electric on normal UK rates. But those numbers that I've previously mentioned are after electric cost.
Yeah.
So
you've still got the ROI.
You've still got the ROI on top. I mean, if you had free electric versus paying normal UK rates at 13, 14 pence a kilowatt, the difference in profit this year was somewhere between 7 to 9%. So there's still an awful lot of overhead on the top of that.
And another question I was thinking of, because obviously the state of the market in terms of price obviously affects the profitability of what you're mining and stuff.
Yes.
In terms of I personally believe that we are near the bottom of this bear market now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's now a good time to start getting into this, because if we do what I think and start to go back into another bull market based on positive fundamentals and what's happening in the larger crypto space, is that ROI going to be more positive going forward?
Yeah.
If we start to enter
Arguably speaking, I mean,
market.
this is one of the reasons why we take the numbers from April to April, because it was the suckiest time ever. April last year was after everything had cooled off from the January madness, and we were on our way down every month. If I gave you the numbers 6 months before that, they're preposterous. Because we had the bull run and the machines were running ludicrous money, and it would be unfair to use those as in the last 18 months we earned this percentage, because it would hyperinflate the figures and it wouldn't be honest of us to do so. Without question, people say, why would I get into, mining or into the crypto space right now? Well, my honest answer is 2 years ago, if you would have bought a load of Bitcoin, yes, you would have made a boatload of cash. But the honest truth is we simply did not know where it was going the same way we do now. Within the last 18 months, the fundamental of the market is so well grounded. We have the big banks moving in, we have the regulation on the thing, we've got large-scale commercial adoption moving forward, the user base is growing, the back-end infrastructure is growing. You can literally go and buy a beer with Bitcoin now with all third-party cards such as Wirex. So the thing is we're in a totally different world to where we were 2 years ago. The future of blockchain technology is 100% unequivocally not going anywhere, full stop, done, end of question. So if you know, and that's the beauty of a GPU rig. I'm not saying put all your money into this one coin or project because you've got no security there. What I am saying is if you believe the future of blockchain is moving forward, all of those transactions need power. Why not buy the most flexible, powerful bit of kit on the market that is able at any moment in time to switch between them and mine the most profitable coin? It's a Swiss Army knife of the blockchain world. The internet needs internet servers. The crypto space needs blockchain servers.
Absolutely. And one thing I say to people is, you've obviously got to do your due diligence with whatever you invest in or whatever you get involved
of course,
in, whether it be mining or buying coins directly. But one of the things I'll say to people is the best time to get involved in all of these things is when you're at the bottom of the market.
Yeah.
Because then you've got all the great
You've got the upside, yeah.
Rather than waiting for the upside or confirmation. Obviously, there is a risk to that, and you have to sort of look at your own personal position. But I always find that when you get to the bottom of the bear market, and you get into this sort of sideways accumulation period, it's the best time to get involved in all of these different things because that's when you can maximize your profits going forward when we re-enter phase one in the bull market again.
And the big thing is again, with the GPU hardware, is because our machines are made up of currently 2080, NVIDIA 2080 graphics cards. God forbid, let's play devil's advocate, the whole crypto market disappeared the day after you bought your equipment. You've not wasted your money. Because you could literally unscrew those cards, put them back in the brand new boxes that we supply with you when you get the products, and you could just, flog them on eBay if you ever needed to. You retain a huge amount, percentage-wise, of the asset equipment, totally separate from the crypto space. So, your financial risk on a product is really very minimal, whilst you have all the upside in the crypto space moving forward.
Yeah, that's good, because as a follower of the gaming industry, the amount of forums I've seen of people complaining about the cost of graphics cards.
Yep.
It's actually an asset that's gone up massively due to the extra demand from mining.
It is, and it's interesting because, gamers have sometimes had this, negative effect on miners, and they've been, you're the idiots that are ordering all the cars and pumping up the prices. But the reality of it is I've been a lifelong gamer. It's one of the reasons why I was able to get into what I do. But fundamentally, say 5 years ago, you spent all your money on a top-end GPU. You bought it specifically 100% just to play games on. You never had any foresight or chance or thought or conception of making a penny off that card. Yeah. You bought it purely to play games. So, it sucks that market conditions increase the price of cards, sometimes by as much as 50 to 70%. But fundamentally, you could now buy a product that would pay for itself. So actually, it was actually cheaper to the gamers. If you used it to mine crypto while you weren't using it, you now had a product that paid you more. So, I think that argument has been somewhat tilted by the salty gamers. But
and that's reassuring as well, because if you're buying a big piece of kit, you want to do some mining, it's good to know that, heaven forbid, anything just go majorly wrong with the crypto markets, you can still redeem all the costs of the hardware.
I mean, not quite.
Reassuring.
Not quite all the costs, but I mean, to put it in perspective, we now use the 2080 graphics cards. The 1080 Ti's were the cards that we used all last year. They were the most powerful. The 1080 Ti generation has now left us. The 2080 is the replacement directly, and the 20 RTX series. So a brand new 1080 Ti was around £850. Now, after 3 years of mining, you can still sell a 1080 Ti on eBay for 550 quid.
Wow.
I mean, so because now a 1080 Ti will play ultra on all AAA titles, because we buy, all our rigs are made up of the absolute premium end of the market. In a 3-year cycle, they become the top end of the kind of retail gaming market. Yeah. So, this is again, another big mistake people make with cards like the RX cards when everyone was chasing Ethereum. They bought graphics cards that were technically able to mine all the other coins, but the way they're physically designed made them very good for Ethereum and Ethereum only. And as soon as Ethereum lost its kind of value, you were stuck with very middle-of-the-road gaming cards that flooded the market, that lost a lot of value and couldn't move the same way
Absolutely.
to other algorithms. So we just try to educate people as best we can. If you stick at the top end of the tree, if you stick with people that do this professionally full-time every day, we don't charge any fees or any consultation fees off the back of keeping people's rigs updated. It's in our interest for you to earn as much money as possible, because then you tell your friends and you buy more stuff.
That's great, because along with the induction as well, like the extensive induction plus support,
and we
that's
can
another
even
good
keep remote access to people's rigs and help you if you get stuck. You know, oh Josh, we really want to mine this coin, but I've made a bit of a boo-boo, I've forgotten how to do this, can you help me out? Sure.
And that's reassuring, because when you get into the space, one of the things that most people want is they want an expert on hand. You know, if they ever get stuck, they need support.
Give us a call.
They know it's going to be there.
Yeah.
Because obviously, this space can be a little bit daunting for people who are new to it. So it's really good to know that is there if they need it. I want to segue a bit here, just because you were doing a talk the other day, and it's not just mining that you guys do. Perhaps you want to talk about some other services that you're sort of doing.
Yeah. So as a kind of consequence of mining and selling a good chunk of equipment as the company's grown now, obviously crypto tax came a thing as clients were making profits. And we're very happy to offer one of the UK's first specialist cryptocurrency accountancy firms. Very few people realise how, in the UK at least, crypto tax is very malleable. You can kind of claim it as a few different things under a few different circumstances. And that completely depends upon the individual circumstances. So everything's done one-on-one with an accountant, sat down. It's not just a case of, I've got this much Bitcoin, I've sold it for that, and I need to pay that much tax. It's a little bit more complex than that, but in an advantageous way. A lot of people don't realise, for example, if you, say, bought Bitcoin at 20k and sold at 5k, you can offset that 15k as a capital loss against other taxable income. So there's some really exciting things that you're able to do that a lot of people don't realise. So we have the accountancy firm that helps people in those things. We also have EasyCrypto, that's EasyCrypto Accounting. We have EasyCrypto Education, where we do a lot of seminars and education and consultation packages where we help people enter the space for business and domestic clients. And then EasyCrypto Consulting, where we work with B2B services, helping people, perhaps something as like a bar that wants to start accepting Bitcoin as a payment. We do, help in those kind of sectors too. So we're now moving into a full 360 company, with the mining as a front foot, and ultimately helping people with all those other services as they need us on the back.
And that's great as well, because it'll make you more robust if, you have a slowdown in one area. You've always got the other areas to support you as well. And going to the accounting, like as someone who's just done my crypto tax, I think this is something that's really growing in prevalence for a lot of people, especially as the profits get bigger from things like the 2017 bull market, and how important it is to get that right, because I really believe that this is going to be one industry that does have some retroactive legislation coming in from governments when Bitcoin starts to get really big. So I think it's really important for individuals out there in the Bitcoin space to make sure they're on top of their tax returns and things like that. And because going forward, you don't have that certainty about how governments are going to react, and if they're going to do retroactive legislation.
That is a concern. They might go back a few years, and then all of a sudden, if you spend it all on Lambos, you might be, you might have to sell a tire or two. So it's always something to be mindful of. But again, not something to be scared of, because the vast majority, as it stands today, at least that entered the space in the last 18 months, have lost money. That's not a bad thing. If you have a business that's making profit, or you've sold a house and you're paying taxes, or lots of different other individual circumstances, you can use that loss in a positive manner. And this is what people don't always realise. So it's much more exciting and much more flexible than people realise. Yeah,
that's great. I want to segue again. One of the big, I just done a video recently that talks about how Bitcoin mining affects the environment, or some of the fallacies around that, because obviously the mainstream media use this as one of the main talking points to attack Bitcoin in terms of its the proof of work and how much energy Bitcoin or these different networks use. Perhaps you could talk about why some of that isn't true and what people really need to know about that.
Yeah, so it's again, this is one of those arguments that it's similar to mining isn't profitable. They just kind of get a very tiny snapshot of what's actually going on. So does Bitcoin mining and crypto mining in general, all proof of work, does it use a lot of power? Yes, but compared to what? Like, I've never heard anybody go, Bitcoin uses a lot of power, but what about all those trees you're chopping down for cash? Like, there's very kind of nuanced arguments. So given that's a bit of a throwaway point, but underneath that is much more serious. What we are doing is we're building this blockchain ecosystem, which ultimately decentralizes human trust. It will remove such a multitude of third-party applications that this is the pain before the pleasure comes. Ultimately, there's so many carbon emissions and environmental concerns, in those third-party intermediaries, which will be entirely removed. With every fibre of my being, I truly believe that blockchain technology, full stop, will be the greatest tool in carbon reduction.
I mean, there's $7 trillion industries that are going to be pretty much upset or largely removed because of Bitcoin.
Massively.
And especially the gold industry, which is probably one of the biggest consumers of electricity on the entire planet.
And there's other more practical things, so such as my business at the moment, where, as it stands in the UK today, it's now, the first few days in April 2019, only at the end of March, the UK government removed all the feed-in tariffs for the renewable energy sector in the UK. So historically speaking, if you had hydro, electric, solar, wind, anaerobic digestion, if you were producing your own power, you were locked into a tariff and you sold your electric at X pence per kilowatt. That came down and down and down over the years to a bottom end of about 4 pence, and from this month on, it's gone. Kapoof, game over, zero. What that means is anyone previously is, yes, still locked in for their respective amount of years, but moving forward, if you want to build a wind farm, solar farm, hydroelectric, any renewable energy, there is zero financial incentive to do so, unless you're consuming all that power yourself, which is very, very few and far between. So the problem is, as it stands today, there is no financial incentive for renewable power. So the governments may say, oh, we want to save the world, we care about the environment. The truth is they don't want to pay for it. So what we're doing at the moment is we're working with some of the UK's largest energy providers, some of the renewable energy firms. We've got installs. We as well as individual units for domestic applications, whether it be 1, 10 or 20. We also do commercial size applications in containers, and we can drop those onto solar farms, wind farms, hydroelectric facilities. And those numbers that we've given you, if you crunch those numbers backwards, instead of saying you earn this much percentage ROI, what we say to the energy guys and girls is actually you earn upwards of 40 pence per kilowatt. 10 times more than the last previous
because of the
feed-in tariff.
Renewable.
So all of a sudden what we're now doing is we're going back to renewable energy businesses which are struggling financially moving forward and saying, hey, drop on some containers of our equipment, sell, instead of putting that energy back, instead of selling the energy, it's a falsity that it all goes back to the grid. In reality, that's unfortunately not the case, but they sell a lot of the energy at 4 or 5 pence a kilowatt. We're saying, hey, use it yourself, consume it on the blockchain, power the ecosystem and get paid 40, 50, 60 pence a kilowatt. Now, moving forward, my logic for the UK is to, renewable energy is obviously better than not renewable energy. I'm passionate about increasing that utilisation. So why not go, hey, anaerobic digestion farmer, or hey, solar farmer, or hey, wind turbine or hydro man, you no longer have no financial mechanism moving forward. What about you go and build a new hydropower dam and drop on a load of our equipment next to it, and all of a sudden it's now totally financially viable outside of government subsidies, outside of third parties, and together we're able to enable renewable energy to increase dramatically. So when people say that it's really bad for the environment, I would completely disagree, because under certain circumstances like we have in the UK, I genuinely think it could be the single one product which revolutionises the renewable energy sector.
That's great. And it's funny talking to you. I love talking to people who are passionate about what they do, because you just know that they know everything inside out about what they're talking about. And that's the thing I really picked up from your talk the other day, is that you were just so natural at doing the talking, because you just knew everything about what you're doing. And I think, people are maybe looking at EasyCryptoHunter. That's a really good thing to have, is as someone that is so clued up in this space. And is there anything else you'd like to add? Is there any future developments that are coming down the line as well that people would like to know about?
Yeah, there's so much. It's an amazing space, and I just love helping people understand it a bit better, because ultimately, the more people that are involved in the space, the better it's going to become.
So on that line, is this open to everybody? So
absolutely everybody.
High end, low end.
Yeah. So our entry level products are £4,000. 95% of what we sell is a £10,000 item, 8333 plus VAT. So it's different for businesses. You can get your tax downs and deductibles and stuff. But fundamentally, we don't pretend that we're not at the premium end of the market. The equipment that you're buying is top end stuff and subsequently costs a lot to build, but retains its asset value very well because of that. So we honestly say, look, if you've got £1,000 and want to get into this, we're not the right people for you. We don't pretend that we are. But for those people that are seriously wanting to invest in the space and move forward and want some very tangible ROIs, that's where we're at. And that's what we specialise in doing. The kind of big announcements that maybe the people listening kind of want to know, they go, what's the future of GPU mining? I thought, what about everything moving to proof of stake? Well, the reality of it is that's just a complete misdemeanor. Ethereum are the only mineable algorithm, which have publicly announced they're moving to proof of stake. But for those people in the know, kind of everything at the moment, the vast majority of hash power as it stands today on Ethereum is ASIC machines, thanks to Bitmain's eTash ASICs. And, you know, Vitalik and the guys at Ethereum basically have realized that, you know, we announced going to proof of stake. This is taking us way longer than we ever thought. This is much harder than we initially thought it would be. That may well and will very much likely go on for years. So they didn't worry about the ASIC miners on the system because they thought they were going to move. Subsequently, they've realized that's going to take much longer. And in January, I think January, February this year, they publicly announced that they're changing the Ethereum algorithm from eTash to a new algorithm called progressive proof of work. So that will only be explicitly for GPU. It will kick off all the bad players, aka ASICs, in the space. So that's one of the exciting things, you know, for those people that are very passionate about Ethereum. I think it's very likely, obviously, even though all the other coins have been much more profitable this year, Ethereum was obviously the origin source of the GPU growth sector. And as soon as ProgPow comes online in the next few months, I think we could have a second resurgence back to GPU, which was really exciting because we want to help be there and help grow the community for that.
Absolutely. So basically, people who are interested in EasyCryptoHunter, where can they find you?
Dead simple, easycryptohunter.co.uk. We're based in Manchester. We've got a phone number on our website. Give us a call. We're real people. Someone will answer. You can come and meet myself and the team, and you know, there's a good few of us down there now with full tech support and, you know, full customer service and everything that we need. Ultimately, the machines are built by us, manufactured by us, under warranty by us, and we just help people as best we can. So go on the website, give us a call, come and see us in person, and we'll do our best to help you as best we can.
That sounds amazing. I'm sure we could talk all day about this, but my voice is actually starting to go here. But yeah, thanks very much, Josh.
No
That's
problem at all.
EasyCryptoHunter. Make sure to check them out. And thank you very much for your time.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.